In the spring, I will be teaching 492, Literary Editing and Publishing. And I really love this opportunity because it's a sort of theory, methods, and practice course combined. So we think about editorial theory and we practice editing and publishing in the class. So I've got essentially 3 reasons that you should think of taking literary editing and publishing in the spring. The first is to change your perspective on literary history, to think about it from a different angle. The second is you'll have an opportunity to learn from professionals in the publishing industry that I'll talk about in a minute. And the third one is you get the chance to produce the Red Cedar Review, which is sort of flagship publication in the English department, and I think a really special opportunity to work with a cohort of your classmates to make a product in your class, which is the thing that my dad would be very proud of, and so I feel is important. To start with, think about exploring literary history from another perspective. We're accustomed to thinking about authors, we're accustomed to thinking about texts in the world, but I think that we spend less time, particularly at the undergraduate level, thinking about what editors and publishers do in the literary world. This semester I did a lot of talking about editorial theory and magazine history. Next year I'd like to think about editors specifically and how they contribute to the shape of the works that we study. So we'll work on early editions of Shakespeare's sonnets, which took a while to ferment into the finished product that we see today. I have a bit of The Wasteland here, which was heavily influenced by the editorial work of Ezra Pound. And over here, my favorite example, a fragment of writing of Emily Dickinson's, which was all, if you've looked at any of the recent scholarship on Dickinson, assembled out of fragments and envelopes and scraps and things that she wrote on, obsessively and stored in little nooks and crannies, and has been re-put together by editors to look a particular kind of way. So we'll look at the importance of editors in shaping the works that we think about when we think about literature. We'll also think about the power of publication, the way that publishing something can shape a discourse, can make something happen in the world. And to do that, I'd like to look at some controversial publications to think about what have publishers done to shape cultures and to make things happen. Thinking about doing Radcliffe Hall's The Well of Loneliness, a 1928 novel about lesbianism and LGBTQ issues that must be suppressed. It was put on trial in England and in the United States upon its publication. I'd also like to talk about the persecution of Salman Rushdie, who was placed under a fatwa for publishing the Satanic Verses. And if we have time, get up to this sort of astonishingly strange moment where we have a white woman, Janine Cummings, producing American Dirt, which made some huge hay recently for its attempt to try to capitalize on border issues like we heard about earlier to make something happen in the publishing industry. So we'll be thinking about what is literature, what is publication from a different perspective of those who produce and distribute this stuff and make it happen in the world. You also have the opportunity to learn from some publishing professionals. This semester, I'll be joined by Bria Sanford, who's a senior editor at Penguin Random House. She's also the editorial director of Sentinel Books, is one of Penguin's imprints. She'll be joining the class to talk about her career in the publishing industry in New York, the kind of work that she does. And we can also bring folks, my colleagues at Michigan State University Press, including Catherine Cox, who's the editor-in-chief, or Dave Gatto, who is the director of the press, to actually come in and talk about what does work look like in this industry? What do people do when they leave training programs like these and go and try to work in the world of books? I'm very excited about being able to share that opportunity with folks. And then I think the most exciting thing is the opportunity to produce the Red Cedar Review. The Red Cedar Review has been published by the English department in some form or another since the first issue in 1963. At the start, it was an undergraduate produced journal that produced the work of professional writers. It has since morphed into a journal of undergraduate writing. So you will have the opportunity to work with your peers, to copy edit, to proofread, to typeset, and to publish their work on the Red Cedar Review's exciting new online web presence. So students in this class this semester are, in addition to producing texts, they're also doing some multimedia work, making videos, making broadsheets, making stickers and swag and other kinds of things to try to raise the profile of the review and publish the kind of amazing work that student writers are doing throughout the world. Oh, I almost beat the alarm. Okay, so that's my pitch. 3 reasons to take 492. Change your perspective on literary history, work with some publishing industry professionals, and have the opportunity to produce the wonderful Red Cedar Review. Thank you all so much.